Imagine you are standing on the edge of a cliff. Your heart is racing, the wind is howling, and you feel the literal weight of gravity pulling at your toes. You step off, but instead of falling, you fly. You glide over a city made of purple glass while a talking cat explains the secrets of the universe to you. Then you wake up, you look at your phone, it is 7 a.m., and that entire vivid world evaporates like mist in the sun. In less than 5 minutes, you will forget 50% of what just happened. In 10 minutes, 90% of it will be gone forever. You just spent the last 2 hours of your life in a state of total psychosis, and you think it is perfectly normal.
The average human spends roughly 25 years of their life asleep. Out of that time, about 6 years are spent dreaming. That is 2,190 days of hallucinations, adventures, and nightmares. If you did this while you were awake, people would call an ambulance. But because we all do it while we are unconscious, we call it a good night's rest. For thousands of years, we had no idea why this happened. The ancient Egyptians thought dreams were messages from the gods. The Greeks thought they were visits from the dead. Even Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, thought every dream was a secret code for our darkest, most repressed desires. But modern science has a much more fascinating and slightly terrifying explanation. We're finding out that dreaming is not just a side effect of sleep. It might be the very reason we have evolved such complex brains. To understand why, we have to look at what happens when the lights go out.
Your brain is never truly off. In fact, during a specific stage called REM sleep, or rapid eye movement, your brain is actually more active than it is when you are sitting at your desk at work. Your heart rate spikes, your breathing becomes irregular, and your eyes dart back and forth behind your lids like you are watching a high-speed tennis match. But here's the catch. Your body is paralyzed. Your brain sends a signal down your spinal cord to shut off your muscles, so you don't actually try to fly off your bed or punch you. You are a prisoner in your own body, while your mind runs a 5-star cinematic production.
So, why does the brain go through all this trouble? The first big theory is the filing cabinet theory. Think of your brain like a massive, messy office. Every single day, you are bombarded with millions of pieces of data. You see 100 different faces on the subway, you hear a random song on the radio, you read 50 emails, and you feel a specific sting when your boss makes a sarcastic comment. If your brain kept all of that in your active memory, you would crash within a week. Dreaming is the process of the night janitor coming in and sorting through the trash. While you are in REM sleep, your brain is deciding what to keep and what to throw away. It is moving important memories from short-term storage into long-term storage. This is why, if you are studying for a big exam or learning a new skill like playing the guitar, you actually perform 20% better the next day if you get a full night of sleep. Your brain practiced those chords while you were dreaming. It was filing away the how-to while deleting the "what I had for lunch 3 days ago" data. But that does not explain the weird stuff, right? Why did you dream about your third-grade teacher chasing you through a grocery store with a chainsaw? That brings us to the threat simulation theory. Scientists believe that dreaming evolved as a biological defense mechanism. It is essentially a virtual reality combat simulator. By putting you in stressful, scary, or impossible situations, your brain is practicing how to survive. Back when we were living in caves, we had to worry about being eaten by predators. Today, those predators have turned into social anxiety, losing our jobs, or failing a test. When you dream about your teeth falling out or being naked in public, your brain is running a simulation of worst-case scenarios. It is testing your emotional reactions and your problem-solving skills in a safe environment where you cannot actually get hurt. You are training for the stresses of life while lying on a memory foam mattress. Then there is the emotional therapy theory. Some researchers call dreaming overnight therapy. Have you ever noticed that a problem that felt devastating at 11 p.m. feels manageable at 8 a.m.? That is because dreaming strips the painful emotion away from the memory. During REM sleep, your brain is completely devoid of a chemical called norepinephrine, which is the chemical associated with stress and anxiety. It is the only time your brain is totally calm. This allows you to process traumatic or difficult events without the sting of the physical stress response. You are processing the data without the drama. Without this,
Every bad thing that ever happened to you would feel as fresh and painful as the moment it occurred. But let us talk about the glitch in the system, the activation synthesis theory. This theory suggests that dreams actually mean absolutely nothing. Imagine your brain is a supercomputer. While it is doing its nightly maintenance, it is sending random electrical impulses through the sensory parts of your mind. Your conscious brain, which is obsessed with finding patterns, looks at this random noise and says, "Wait, I need to make sense of this." So it stitches together a story. It takes a random spark of flying, and a random spark of my mom, and a random spark of pancakes, and builds a narrative where you are flying to your mom's house to eat pancakes. In this view, dreams are just the screensaver of the mind, a byproduct of the brain trying to stay organized. However, many people refuse to believe it is all just random noise, especially when you consider the power of creative dreaming. Some of the biggest breakthroughs in human history did not happen in a lab, they happened in a bed. Elias Howe struggled for years to invent the sewing machine until he dreamed he was being attacked by cannibals with spears that had holes in the tips. He woke up and realized that was the key. The hole needed to be at the point of the needle, not the base. Dmitri Mendeleev spent years trying to organize the elements until he fell asleep and saw the entire periodic table fall into place in a dream. Even the idea for Google came to Larry Page in a dream when he was 23 years old. He dreamed he could download the entire internet and just keep the links. These are not just random glitches. They are moments where the brain, free from the logic and rules of the waking world, is able to connect dots that it never would have seen otherwise. But what if you could take control of the simulation? This is where lucid dreaming comes in. About 55% of people will experience at least one lucid dream in their lifetime. This is the moment where you are in the middle of a dream and you suddenly realize, wait, this is not real. Once you reach that state, the rules of physics disappear. You can fly, you can change the scenery, or you can talk to your subconscious mind directly. Some people use this to face their fears or practice public speaking. It is the ultimate sandbox mode for the human experience. So, why do we dream? The truth is, it is probably a combination of all these things. We dream to remember, we dream to forget, we dream to survive, and we dream to create. Your brain is a 3-pound organ that is more complex than any galaxy we have ever mapped, and dreaming is its way of staying sane in an insane world. The next time you wake up from a dream where you were 20 minutes late for a meeting with a giant talking rabbit, do not just shrug it off. Your brain was working overtime. It was filing your memories, practicing your survival skills, and giving you a free therapy session, all while you were drooling on your pillow. Sleep is not just a break from life. It is a continuation of it in a different dimension. So tonight, when you close your eyes and the world begins to fade, remember, the most interesting part of your day is probably just about to begin. Sweet dreams.